Here we are. Welcome once again to the world of Cairne.
Good evening.
Okay, there it is.
Hello, hello, hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello. Wow. So, I feel like it's been a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the sub, Debbie. I do feel like it's been a bit. I know when we left off, you guys had just hightailed it down this broken bridge towards the lava. Things were shaking and bursting, and poisonous gas was everywhere, and hot ash, and the mountain is shaking, the volcano is shaking, and everybody's pretty beat up. You lost a beloved team member.
Mm-hmm. Still with us by listeners' standards. Evelyn happens to be along for the ride.
Yeah,
Is in fact piloting right now.
yeah. Oddly, yeah. Which is a unique feature of our world here. Just because a player dies doesn't mean they're out of it.
Oh yeah.
um, but yeah, would you like to do the recap there? Do you have one, Prim?
Uh, no, I don't have a recap handy here. I
Uh,
normally do one for the, sigil.
I could roll this one.
Go for it.
All right. So long ago, in the distant past, we gathered for our previous session. And at the start of that previous session, we were entering dire straits. We had engaged the King of Ash and Bone in his sanctum of power with his guards around, in pursuit, of course, of our lost teammate Kaz. And we discovered pretty quickly that this is mostly a non combatant party. You'd have thought that we'd remembered that. But we had taken some pretty bad hits. Wilhelm had been downed, Evelyn had been downed. Another three of us, I think, were on our bottom 10 hit points. Fortunately, we have an As, and our As has a Force Glaive. That did a lot of work. And, props. Though he is not with us tonight, our good friend Van Warren laid in pretty well with his golden battle axe. So, between that and Genesis working a little bit of that Genesis magic, we got temporarily the better of the King of Ash and Bone. And he did not care for that at all and responded by essentially setting off the volcano.
Spooky had her pistols going pretty hot for a bit there, too.
Oh yeah, you landed a crit or two. It did some damage. And I think Pitch actually came out, finally got a couple of fires off with Pitch.
Yep.
So, our fighting squad, which is less than half of the actual party, they put on a bit of a show. Regardless, we are not equipped to deal with an erupting volcano. And even though we managed to come out of that combat alive, the clear victors, we suffered a loss right away. The enormous expulsion of boiling ash and magma instantly, like, burnt to a crisp both a couple of the guards and Evelyn.
Poor Evelyn.
Poor Evelyn. Surviving that is a matter of not standing on that particular square and not much else.
Yeah. Which I feel bad about.
Happens sometimes. She is not lost. Listener has persuaded her soul to come along and has in fact given her temporary control over his body, which turns out came in handy. We were trying to flee. There was a tower across a pretty substantial gap that we could not pass, and Evelet, though not quite sure how to manipulate listeners' telepathic abilities, managed to get the message across that we should jump. Turns out she knew Featherfall. Good spell, by the way. If you're listening at home, good spell.
Very handy.
So, we have fled. All of us but Evelyn are alive. Most of us are in some version of dire straits. And we still have a boiling river of magma to cross.
Yes, a river of magna, a poison gas filling the upper chambers.
Yes, we are temporarily safe from the poison gas down here,
Oh yeah.
as it has not billowed down this far. It's trying to rise out of the volcano at the moment.
There is still the spore danger, and the volcano erupting.
Yes, ambiently there are spores around that have a quite unhealthy effect. We should be okay. I've got antifungal aura, and it takes a little while for those to kill you anyways, so we might be alright on that front.
It's so funny, I remember making that spell and thinking, I wonder if anyone will ever actually take this.
I took it immediately and have used it basically twice a day every day.
What
Yeah.
was
Came in
the
handy.
I believe we may have asked this, and I don't recall what the resolution was, but where we're currently located at, are we set up for a short rest, or are we still on the?
No, you guys are.
We would die on the spot.
That's-
This volcano's going off before we can finish a short rest.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check just in case.
No, that's fine. Things are very hairy right now. Like, you guys are running for your lives, more or less.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if I could catch my second wind.
Yeah.
But I think that about catches us up to the current state of the game. We have to cross this flow somehow, if we have any hope of escaping along this route.
So, that does kind of catch us up. Where do we go from here? You do have the map there. The map is actually very accurate. This entire volcano I actually did as one large map and then cut it into pieces for the sake of Roll20. So this is actually all measured out and everything.
Careful and accurate.
Yes.
Very good.
So yeah, I will let you guys kind of take the reins.
How far below the floor level is the lava flow that we're looking at here?
Honestly, it's a matter of a few feet. Deepest
Okay.
3 to 5 feet, let's just say.
Okay, that seems fair.
Is there any debris around us, as far as like extra pieces of wood that have fallen off from the bridge of any significant length? Because we're
Well,
looking
go ahead.
at the, yeah, I was gonna say at the most narrow, looks like up there a little bit to the right. It looks like that might be about a 10 feet across.
Yeah, give or take. The wood of the bridge that you climbed down is pretty rickety to begin with. It's very old. Obviously not maintained or cared for, and it's been in a volcano for an extended period of time, so it's just, there's not an ounce of moisture in it. It's just dry, dead wood. So any pieces that might be down there probably wouldn't be very useful. There's a lot of rock debris. I'm not sure how useful that is, but yeah, there is some rock debris.
Yes, roll a big boulder in and create a stone bridge for us.
Speaking of, I believe at the end of our last session, Az mentioned something about being able to form a bridge out of void energy or something to that nature.
Oh no, he can't do that, can he?
I don't know. Is it how would
I think that would be a fairly high level class feature for that class, right?
would that be a thing that is in this ability?
Let's see here.
That sounds like an artist thing,
Well,
and a non-trivial one at that.
what level artist do you have?
4.
4?
Oh, maybe.
So I'm looking over it here. Did you ever choose a
Subclass?
yeah.
I'm Smithy.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Let's see here. Bear with me. I'm looking over your abilities now. See if I can help you.
It would be a rendering, probably, but that's...
Render the void.
Mhm.
Yeah. Render the void would be what you would want to use. Yeah. So with your void renderings, keeping in mind that you're a smith,
Mhm.
that would be the skill to use to try to do that.
I've still got the old source book, like the old version.
Yeah.
Have you added like the level by level? What do you get in Render the Void in the new one?
Did I?
I don't know. I think Hannah has it. I haven't looked at it. I've been going off of the original one that you sent for a long time.
I'm still.
It wouldn't be in mine either. These were all changes that Chris made.
Yeah.
Uh,
Here. Do. 3 void renderings. Yeah. By fourth level, you have 5 of them.
that sounds like enough.
I've used 2 summoning my spear already today.
And so tell me what you would want to do. How would you do this utilizing your particular artistic focus? Let's try that.
Well, I would take a knee at the edge of the river, and maybe beseech my deity friend for the power to call forth just a sheer plane of void that I can walk across.
Okay. So you pull out your tools. You manifest your smithing hammer, and you begin to hammer
I'm
void
thinking
energy
just kind of like
into a plane.
Mhm.
Okay.
A nice flat piece of like metal stock does seem like the archetypal smiths have this sort of deal.
So here's how this works. We're going to go with the passageway rules for this. Is basically the same principle, more or less. So with your void renderings, to create a passageway has a width and height. So we'll just say a width and length instead of height in this case. Or excuse me, a width, 5 feet, right? 5 foot wide path, and the length is a number of feet equal to 5 times your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So at 4th level,
so we can do a 20-foot, 5 by 20 foot.
5 foot wide, feet equal to, was it 5 times your proficiency?
Yeah, 5 times 4 is 20.
No, your proficiency bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
proficiency
you ought to
bonus
have
is 4.
You ought to have 3. Do you have another level than me?
What? We're level 9.
Is that accurate?
Is that right? Do I need to level up? I usually
at
don't miss
9.
those.
Yeah, we're at 9. You need to level up, boo.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
There you go.
Damn.
Bonus.
Here, let me think about that while we play.
All right. So in that case, then yes. So you manifest your hammer, and you just go to town, just clang, clang, and as you do, this void path begins to kind of form. Every time you strike, another patch kind of spreads out ahead of you. You're welcome to describe it if you have a vision in mind.
I don't know. I'm gonna reference like the Bifrost from MCU.
Okay. That is perfectly all right. Here, I'm gonna put this into Cairne for you.
Thank you.
Thanks to our good buddy Chris doing his hard work. So in this case, yes. We said 20 feet, was it?
Yep.
I don't think that'll be a problem, even where you're at now. Yeah. All right.
Call it.
So you managed to. There you go.
There you go.
Create a plane upon which you may walk across.
There you go.
Who's first?
I'll hold this because I'm concentrating on the thing I'll cross last.
Who's first?
I'll go next to last, if that's okay.
I gotta position myself so the aura actually covers everybody, so I'll probably be standing like right here.
All right.
I
I'll
direct Evelyn over that way.
I'll go first.
Wilhelm, okay.
Yes.
Wilhelm,
So
Alright, everybody should draw up.
roll a d20 for me, please.
okay.
All right. Wilhelm scoots across. It's a little shaky. There's still a lot of rock fall. The entire volcano is still quaking. The magma that you're walking over, Wilhelm, as you notice. Now, granted, the void energy is actually solid enough to keep it from lashing up through it, but it will not stop it from lashing around, and it is very turbulent because of the shaking. However, you make it across with no issue.
I will relay that information then.
Okay.
Be careful. It seems that the lava can still come over the edges. Watch your step. And then I will take up a guard position and keep my eye out to see if anyone is coming from the other direction towards us.
All right.
I'm using my scoped musket as everyone is starting to move across. I'm using it essentially just to scan the area back that we're heading towards. So just kind of looking to the left and to the right.
All right. So the
positioning comes from that side.
so you can see where I'm pinging on the other
Yes.
side. That's the other end of that broken bridge.
Mhm.
So that there's the big kind of plateau right there, which would be the obvious way up. This is kind of just a sheer cliff face, but it is a little bit of a flat surface. But you don't see any activity up there, at least not visible along the edges.
Okay. I'm going to continue my watch as people make their way across.
Okay. And who is next?
I think Saoirse will go next, moving at half speed to, try and avoid any lava lapping over, rock fallings, anything of that nature.
Any horrible deaths?
Yeah.
Roll a d20 for me, please.
Advantage because half speed?
No, not on this one, unfortunately.
You're rolling for the lava, actually.
All right. It is a little rockier than Wilhelm's trip. There's a couple points where you kind of almost want to get down on hands and knees and just grip the edges. But you make it across without issue.
All right.
No worries. So, who's next?
Should probably put Van Warren over.
All right. Anybody want to roll for Van Warren?
I'll roll him a d20.
All right, go ahead.
6.
Same as
Consistent.
Saoirse? Yep. No problems.
Flawless. He's the best at this.
All right, so that's 3 across. Where is he? There he is. All right. Who's
All right,
next?
I'll take the next one.
All right.
We're getting to the point where there's going to be more people outside of the aura than inside, so I should probably do something about that.
Go stand in the middle and just wait.
No, well, I'm not quite that crazy. I do realize that I have an individual life now, you understand?
Yes. Lava is bad.
Ooh, that's a 4.
And also, people couldn't get around listener, so.
This is true.
Yeah, nah, you almost certainly couldn't. So yeah, 4. What do I get hit by?
You make it across, but you did take a little bit of a splash, which sears you pretty harshly for 3 points of damage.
Alright, I'm not dead.
Did you make it, or you're still conscious? You made it across?
I'm still conscious.
Okay. So yeah, you did take a sear, but you made it.
Alright. I look very rough.
Anybody else?
So I guess that puts Uki next, because Genesis explicitly said that she was going second to last.
True.
Okay. So, Genesis, you got everything under control? I'm going to head over.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. You make it. You make it across, no issues.
Okay.
Genesis, your turn.
Mm. 10.
Okay, you make it across with no issues.
Yes.
As
I'll come across. It's a d20.
ooh.
Ooh,
As takes a splash as well.
yikes.
1 point of damage.
Ooh, it stings a little bit. It's like when you're
Yes.
cooking bacon.
But
I
you
would prefer
are
not to do
It's
that
just a
again.
little spit.
Shirt on.
you are all across. You've made it across the river of magma to the other side.
Magma. Magma.
Now,
I will drop the void bridge.
all right.
It only lasted for a minute anyway.
Mookie, what are you doing?
I am. Oh, from where I'm at, I'm still scanning up above. So wherever I'm,
Up here?
yeah, up there. So basically, what I've been doing is my little pings have been basically looking, scanning from right to left.
Well, I appreciate
Left,
you. Appreciate you
right.
being very, very specific with that. A small volley of arrows comes from this side. You hear people shouting and just a few bows snapping and a number of arrows flash. We'll see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you. Roll D8. Listener, as 3 arrows come. So here we go, listener.
Now, I do still have my invisibility going. Does
There-
that make me harder to target?
It doesn't. It doesn't. The arrows are just flying in your
Mhm.
group's
They're
direction.
just kind of random. Gotcha.
Yeah, it missed you.
Oh, wonderful.
As what's your AC as?
19 right now.
19. Okay. It glances off of you, but does not hurt. Doesn't bite.
Am I seeing the archers, or I'm just seeing the direction they're coming from?
They're actually up in the poisonous cloud shooting down, kind of just randomly. There were actually a number of arrows that fell like outside of your range, like just hit the ground and skittered off the rocks. It was just a volley falling. You're not sure how many are up there. You can't really see them. But they, at the same time, you get the sense that they can't see you either.
Oh, right.
So, where do we go from here? It's getting hairy.
Indeed. What do we have on this side of the flow?
Right here is the base of this large kind of plateau where you saw the building across the way. The small mausoleum, temple, whatever looking building. The other half of the broken bridge is hanging here.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it's pretty much sheer rock.
That's not great.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How is it intended for telekinesis to be conceptualized?
As in what?
Like, is it just hands picking up solid objects, or am I allowed to telekinesis semi-solid sort of liquid substance?
So the way I've always pictured telekinesis and the way I would like for it to work in my world
Mm-hmm.
is that you are actually not physically picking something up, but rather, although your character wouldn't know this, the scientific terms, but you are actually manipulating the molecular structure of basically the reality around the item you're moving.
Hmm.
Which is
So
how you can pick up things that you would normally not be able to. You're not physically picking up, you're manipulating the reality around them to move them through space.
So if I'm manipulating it on a molecular level, I can say that it needs to be here, but at the same time not be in another space. Like,
Well, it still has to honor the rules of time and movement. So you can't teleport something, but you can, if like say if you wanted to pick up a globule of magma and hurl it, you could.
because I could scoop it with like my hand and throw it, but I wouldn't be able to like create like an upward flow of lava because that wouldn't make sense with the physics. Or
Well, I mean, you're breaking physics with telekinesis anyway.
oh, interesting.
Granted, there's limitations to how much you can focus on at a time.
Right.
So, like, basically altering the flow of the river upwards, for instance, would take a little more than you could. Well, it's possible. You would really strain yourself to do it. You'd have to be spending a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we implemented the point system, was to allow you to bend reality at risk.
Yes.
At some risk to yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Ooh. No worries at all.
Can you bend us a staircase?
Well, we need to get rid of the volleys of arrows that are coming at us first, right?
Maybe not.
Yeah, it probably would be better to get rid of those, you know?
Maybe there's another way around, another way up.
But keep in mind, they cannot see you either. They're just firing arrows randomly.
Mm.
That's why I didn't give them any bonus to hit.
Mm.
This is fair. I'm going to move here-ish
Okay.
and sit down on the ground, thus reducing my surface area for being struck by arrows.
All right. We are about to get another volley.
I'm gonna suggest that maybe we push forward in the I don't know, this way direction, like the toward the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's space to push up there that's not cliff face, that sounds great.
Like maybe there's maybe there's another way up this cliff face, or at least somewhere that we can think about how to get up while using some cover.
Well, here, I'm going to show you the top end just so you can kind of see it from the downward angle real quick. So you can actually look at what you're looking at. You're down here.
Yeah. So there is a little space here.
Yeah. It doesn't go anywhere beyond that, though.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So up here is
But-
where you're trying to get to.
But we can at least
You can
kind
try
of
and
be
take some
covered.
cover, yeah.
in that kind of corner and think about how we're gonna get up that sheer cliff face from like here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather stay on this map so you can see the full picture, or do you want to go back to the other one? Doesn't really matter.
Either or.
This helps more. I like this better.
Yeah, let's just get ourselves positioned somewhat here.
Yeah, go ahead and move yourselves on over.
Oh, over to, yeah, because we should be on this.
Yeah,
Let me grab him.
you're good. Might want to get closer to everybody though, so you're in the aura.
I was just looking at the wrong thing. So when we came over, we're somewhere here. Oh, somewhere here. The volley was coming from, I'm going to ping real quick. The volley was coming from this area, right?
Volley's coming from here, where I'm pinging.
Where you're pinging? Let me see. Where are you pinging? Oh, from behind us.
Yeah, that's why you
Oh, I
didn't see them coming.
Oh, got it. Okay, well then definitely, yeah, I'm coming over here closer.
All right. So you guys move. Let me see here. We're gonna go.
I was looking at the wrong side of the map.
It's all good. We're gonna go. Oh, definitive miss. And Uki. Oops. Where we go? Boom. Does 13 hit you?
I don't think so, but let me double check. Nope. Miss speed by
So
14. basically.
another near miss as another volley of arrows scatter across the rocks. You can hear them getting agitated and hacking and coughing up there.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's not a pleasant place to be right now.
No.
I didn't know there were any up there still.
They probably wandered in from elsewhere in the complex.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah, it's a whole tiny civilization, really.
A whole
So-
lot.
Do we have some rope or something?
We might, but I don't. How high is this cliff, Church?
I believe it was, what, 60, 70 feet?
It's a lot.
It might be more than rope can do.
Yeah, I have a spear that we could tie rope on and throw it, but 60, 70 feet is pretty far to throw it. Get a good set on a spear. Unless you're
Yes.
What's the range on a javelin? Got a bone javelin from earlier.
Throwing spear.
I have no doubt you could get a javelin that far. Getting it to stay up
3120.
there.
It's tricky.
Yeah, getting it to
That's
stay
true.
up there is the hard
What's it
part.
gonna stick in? It's all rock.
Well, except for the old bridge.
Yeah, and that would be difficult to climb. That'd be pretty precarious.
Yeah, it's 3120 on a javelin. So the long range would get you there. The standard procedure, if we had such a thing as a climbing kit, would be the best climber goes first and sets pitons with the rope as they go up.
Oh, I'm gonna step in here then
Yes.
and
Yeah, 'cause
say that, well, you guys are lucky in that you have the best climber ever.
The best climber.
The best climber ever, right here.
We'll check his hit points for us if you don't mind. They are low.
He's looking very, very rough. He's struggling to maintain his normal demeanor and, you know, laissez-faire attitude. But he's hurting. He is looking to start climbing, though.
I would suggest that we have Van Warren try to get there and set up, and then send some of the lighter party members up to kind of help stabilize it up. I mean, maybe small, but they're still strong. Then again, I don't know where base hit points are at.
He's looking at you, pulling out his rope, tying it around his waist.
I'm going to stand by to cast Featherfall on him if he falls, because, that's what you do.
Yeah.
It will be very dangerous because that will be the last of my spell slots, but it's what you do.
Yeah.
Can I do some stuffs?
Sure. What you got in mind?
I dink dink tap listener on probably the elbow at his height.
Huh?
Hey.
It's in range. He looks over at you and you feel a poking at your mind.
Well, rather than say this out loud, I'm like, want to just go up there instead of the piton stuff?
Climbing does seem very difficult, yes. I would rather not, if there's another way.
Okay, we need to double check some reasoning here. I can only target like the weight amount that I can target with psychokinesis is not collective, isn't it? It's individual, right? So I can only lift things that weigh a certain amount individually, not a group of people.
You could. Well, I would argue that you could do a group.
Okay.
Remember how
Do
I
you know
said
how
that?
much everyone weighs?
Remember how I said that works? So you're not lifting people. You're manipulating the space around them.
Lift a giant chunk of ground with us standing on it.
That's just extra weight that I
that's
could
a-
fit more people in.
That's a lot.
If
more
I'm
weight.
allowed to move people, then I can move the people. I don't have to worry about making it a collective technically. How much does everyone do you guys know how much you weigh? Because I have a weight limit in my sheet.
340 pounds.
Okay, you are very heavy.
I am.
Oh god, 340 pounds, dude. I can't.
I am a reasonably sized tree.
I am 265.
I'm 147.
I didn't list a weight for Saoirse, but she is a skinny mini, so probably very light.
That's fair.
I have like 70 pounds of gear on me at any given point in time. I am
That's also
very heavy.
And something to keep in mind when we're talking about lifting people is not only your weight but your gear weight.
Fortunately, I don't really have much of that.
But the gear doesn't have to go up with the individual. The individuals can go up, and then we can lower them down and tie our gear to it.
This is
Pull
true.
it up. So.
Okay. So I'll take me, Saoirse, and who else weighs very little?
I weigh 147. I'm a human, so I probably weigh less. But well, yeah.
Okay. Saoirse, myself, and Uki.
Okay.
Uki to watch our six, Saoirse, to make sure that like she gets up there safely, successfully, and doesn't die, because I would actually yell if something happened to her. So
Mhm.
we're just gonna avoid that. Um, I would get listener, but he weighs so much.
Way a
It's like-
lot.
so
The ghost of Evelyn will go with you because she's not missing out on ladies' night.
okay, yes,
Well, the
yes,
ghost
yes.
of Evelyn is technically just like inhabiting me still.
Yeah, this is true.
So she is temporarily corporeal.
This is true. I keep forgetting she's in control technically.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that'll take me from 2 points to 1 on that ability.
And you're lifting. You go this trio to the top.
Yes. With the rope. I would like to specify with the rope, and anything else we can use, like the bridge or whatever we can grab that doesn't really contribute collectively to the weight, you know?
All right. So as you're going up, here we go.
Oh god.
Saoirse.
No!
Saoirse. Genesis.
Good.
And Saoirse.
No! No!
All right. Here we go.
Have good ACs.
Oh my god.
14, 7, 6 for Saoirse.
None of them hit.
All right.
Yes!
And last but not least, Genesis 15.
Doesn't hit.
All right.
Ace 18.
All right. So yes, the arrows rain around you, kind of skittering off the surface of the rock face that you're moving your way up.
Oh,
It's a little spooky,
god.
strenuous, but you manage to make it up to the top unscathed. Once you get to the top, however, you are immediately re-engulfed in the poison gas. Blinding ash. It's hard to see, choking and coughing. Your lung problem is exacerbated once again,
Come on!
but you make it to the top.
I held the rope steady so everyone can get up.
I was in this group too, right? In the first launch.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So
Uki, Saoirse, and Genesis at the
Okay.
top. Here, we'll move you guys up. All right. The rope is down. There is about a 10-foot gap. Genesis, I need to know what you're doing with your end of the rope. Are you just holding it, or
I'm stabilizing it however I can with stuff that's up here, like with this.
keep in mind you cannot see?
That would probably be true with the mask anyway, but
You have an advantage, though. You're used to being peacebound, which cuts off all your senses. You may
Okay.
use your psychic abilities to navigate to
so I do have a shovel, so I'm gonna kind of anchor that in and tie the rope to it.
Okay, you're anchoring the shovel into the stone.
Mm.
All right, are you trying to hammer it in, or use your foot? Use your psychic powers? How are you doing that?
Probably oh my god. Okay, can I like look at the area and tell if there will be something better than just a shovel to tie this off to, or is there like a thing that I could?
But
I should have a small hammer from my tinker's tools that actually is fine for stone because it is something that is from it's the Hybridian tool
true.
that I use so that we can.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Give me what's a good one for this? Let's do survival. Give me a survival roll. Whoever is doing it, and then if you're being assisted, of course, at advantage.
Yes.
I'm moderately good at that.
Anything that would be cheating in tug of war. Do that.
I'm moderately good at that. I can help if somebody's good at somebody's
can-
more wise than I am. I could assist the process because I'm not really. That's not my strong suit.
My wisdom's 14.
Yeah, your mod's probably better.
That's a lot.
Mine's
Okay.
12, but I'm proficient.
Okay, so um
As an aside, for the sake of speed, I think Saoirse's going to go up to the door and try and open it.
you did say with it, so I can roll this with advantage because
Keep in mind.
Genesis is helping, right?
Yes. And keep in
Okay.
mind, Saoirse, you cannot see.
Mm.
All right, so 18. All right.
All right.
It's hammered in. The rope's tied off. Who's going to try it first? Or are you just
try.
going all at once?
I'll try.
Okay, as?
Because at worst, I can drop the rope and I can pull people back up instead of making them climb.
Yep.
All right, as,
Yep.
give
Bring
me
my pack up.
give me 2 athletics checks, please. Solid. Solid. Az makes it to the top.
Easy.
Who's next?
He's strong.
Drop the rope back down. Who's next?
We've got Wilhelm and Van Warren, who should both go ahead of me, because if I go up ahead of them, it's going to be harder to do reaction Featherfall.
Fair.
I mean, I just need either of them to tie themselves off, and I can pull them up.
It's true. True fact.
Well, here,
I'll let Van Warren go first, and then
You would.
after he gets up, I'll go.
all right. That certainly works. Here we go. This is not his best skill. 1.
Oh,
Oof.
Van Warren takes a tumble.
How far up did he get before he fell?
Let's see. We're gonna leave it to chance.
Wait, Az said he was going to, like,
Tie him off.
yeah, like time off at the bottom, and then Az pulls the member up.
Well, I think
feel
that was the last person he was talking about, right?
Well, I could have done it for anybody, and everybody, but I feel like Van Warren would have like an ego thing.
Mhm.
That's probably accurate, to be
Yeah,
honest.
honestly.
He was 30 feet. Let's see here. I'm gonna give him. He doesn't have slow fall or anything like that.
No, that's just me with that trick right now.
Let's see.
Unless he catches himself like instantly, which he might have.
So yeah, he catches the 22 acrobatics roll. He manages to catch the rope.
Rogues, man.
He lost his temporary hit point though.
That's a shame.
So yeah, he's on the rope. You hear him groaning, but carrying on. Solid. Solid enough. It's not a high DC to climb the rope, so Van Warren makes it. A little worse for the wearer, but makes it.
Just a little bit.
Oh yes, there you are. Wilhelm.
I will climb. I'm gonna try to tie the rope on myself before I make the climb.
All right,
Survival check.
go ahead.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna pull
27.
I'm gonna
Solid.
take the slack out of the rope as he climbs.
All right.
And then, yeah, I will try to climb with the understanding if things go bad, Az can help me.
Yeah, he's pulling on the rope as you go, so you have a bonus there. Go ahead, give your 2 athletics. Solid.
16,
Solid.
9.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
you make it to the top. Now it's just listener with no rope.
Yep, you'll have to send that back down.
I will happily send that back down.
Alright, listener with a rope. What will he do? He will attempt to secure himself with the rope, is what he'll do.
All right. Survival.
Survival checks. It's not bad.
Solid. All right.
Yeah, tie a little harness. I make sure to loop it under the legs and around.
So same principle as Wilhelm, as pulls as you climb.
All right.
All right, go ahead and get your 2 rolls in.
I will try to assist
Hey.
as well with carrying, not that it's
Hey.
needed.
Yeah, he's solid. Slow
That
and
is
steady.
so far above average.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yep, just one hand at a time. That literally just one hand. Root is in the other.
Mm-hmm. So here we are on the ledge.
Yes. In the ash, which I'm attempting to move through very quickly to reach the cover of this building.
Everybody take a point of damage, please.
I hate taking points of damage. I do it. I'm just not happy about it.
I don't blame you. Saoirse, you managed to make your way over to the door, feeling around. It is a solid stone door. You do not feel a handle.
Suspicious. I think we have things for that.
As would you know how to get into such a building?
Keys.
I'm really good at making holes in walls.
I don't think the somnambulist prophecy keys will work here.
Oh, it's always worth a try.
Can
This building is not a part of the somnambulist prophecy.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna walk up to the door with take out my hammer,
Okay.
and I will try to hit the door with the little hammer and see if that makes a hole in the door.
All right. So you are rendering the void to create a passage once again.
Yes.
All right. How many is this?
Ping.
You have what, 1 left, I think?
I have 1 left.
Okay. Yes. Without issue, the way is open. There is a faint light coming from inside.
Now, I proceed, but I'm going to use something
Okay.
that I don't get to very often. I'm going to perceive for things.
Okay.
So I should be able to spot traps and secrets at advantage.
Give me that fabulous bean footage.
There you are.
Solid. The inside, you sense no traps or secret doors.
Mhm.
Nothing out of the ordinary. It does seem like a fairly small-sized room.
Okay.
Still hard to see because everyone's choking and gasping.
Yeah, so I try to lead the way inside. I am in very rough shape. I'm mostly trying to get out of the ash.
All right.
Yep.
Everybody
The
following?
hole in the door only lasts for a minute, so at least it's away from the poisonous smoke. Hopefully,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll push in.
All right. So
Yeah, we're following.
everybody's in,
yeah.
and you can disassociate that rendering at will if you want to close it.
I can close it in under a minute if I choose to,
Yeah.
but it maximum duration 1 minute.
Yeah. Wilhelm, what about you? You staying outside? Being tough?
Don't do that.
No,
Come on.
I won't survive.
Okay.
I will.
I mean, I wanted you to have the option, you know.
I understand that. I am at 2
I'm
2 hit points.
Hey, 2 buddies.
not going to railroad you into forcing you in. So, you go in, slams it shut. Behind you, I assume, yeah? The opening?
Yeah, once everyone's in,
Okay.
I think. It's like an airlock. You can't let the bad air in. Like, we're running away from toxic fumes. This was the best way forward. Hopefully, it's not a death pit.
So, the ash that came in with you settles. It was heavy. It takes a moment to settle, but it's not thick enough inside for to do further damage. It settles across the floor, and you are indeed within what appears to be a very, very old dwarven mausoleum to somebody of some great import by the trappings. The inside is covered in volcanic dust and ash, so details are hard to make out. It is about 20 by 40 foot rectangular inside. The entire inside is smooth aside from benches that line the wall and a large raised sarcophagus in the middle of the room. It does appear to be fairly ornate beneath the dust and ash. You don't see any immediate ways out of the room.
Is there any spiritual activity?
Aside from Evelyn, no.
Yes. Okay. Is there perhaps a Kaz in a corner?
No,
All right. It was worth checking.
it was.
Well, shoot.
All right, I will take a moment to examine the central sarcophagus.
Okay. Are you dusting it?
I'll look at it first, but yes, I will probably brush some dust off of it if it's not, like, obviously trapped.
All right. So, obviously, Evelyn's very interested. Her being
Yes.
Evelyn.
Big
Her,
fan.
her being in control, more or less.
Yes. In this, we are united.
Let's see here. There we go. Since she's in your head, we're gonna. Oh my lord! Look at that score. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
With advantage because of the class, even though she's dead. She's going to try and determine the nature of the sarcophagus with a 33 history roll.
You really love
Holy.
to see it.
Listener,
Yes.
you are looking at the tomb of a lost son of the original Dwarven Empire.
Ooh.
Before the Cataclysm, the son had gone missing from the Dwarven Empires, sent out on an expedition to the domes of the Shining Eyes to uncover what may have at one time been another very large cache of extremely rare and valuable minerals. The son never came back.
Of course. While I doubt he's familiar with exactly the guy, unless I roll very well, Listener did go through that entire pre-Blight library that we picked up, so he quite possibly knows the Empire at least.
Yeah, the Empire of Grundholm was very, very powerful at one time.
Now, Evelyn's piloting at the moment. Evelyn's a little bit of a grave robber.
Which you're getting definitely that sensation.
Yeah. I'm a big guy. I could probably push the lid back on this thing.
Can I do something before you do that?
Yeah, probably. I'm not very fast.
Not very fast at all. What you got?
I just need to double check to make sure this is something I can use for other people. Am I allowed to use energy medicine on myself or quiet focus on other people? Like, how does that work?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna choose to use energy medicine with my last point.
Okay.
And then I'm going to expend an extra 3 points to hit a couple people with it.
So you're straining yourself.
I'm gonna use 2. I'm gonna use 2 points instead of 3 because that's my last little thing.
Okay.
You know.
How many do you'll have 1 point left and you're spending 2?
Right. I'll have I should have 1 and 1. If it's I don't know if do I need to spend a point initially from the regular pool and then spend 2 from the other pools to hit 2 additional people?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, 0 for the main pool and 1 for the extra pool.
Okay. Give me a con save, please.
Okay. Uh, 5.
That is a number.
All right.
Not good.
You will pull off the energy medicine. So go ahead and make those rolls first.
So d6 for do I roll individual d6s?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So that's me and 2 other people. So it's gonna be me, Van Warren, and listener.
Mhm.
They get this.
All right, so 3.
The dice know how much healing you're supposed to get in Cairne.
D6 plus proficiency bonus, which would be 5.
5, okay. So who got the 5?
Everybody got a 5.
5, okay.
If each one is a D6 plus proficiency, my proficiency bonus is 4. So
All right.
it's not too terrible. I mean,
So you push this out. Everyone can see Genesis straining, knees buckling. In fact, she falls down on one knee, and from beneath her peace-bound mask, you can see like a spurt of blood just kind of shoot out across her face, and she kind of lets out this kind of pitiful wail from beneath the mask and just falls forward.
Oh,
unconscious.
I'm right there. Can I catch her?
rip.
You're welcome to give a dex check.
Sure. I'm really bad at those.
It's individual D3s for different people.
Okay.
So
Oh,
each one
gotcha.
gets a
Yeah, you catch her.
Okay. Oh. I attempt to say to Genesis through the mind connection, whatever that was, it was probably unwise.
You're getting blank slate right now.
Yeah.
Genesis is out.
I drag Genesis around gently and prop her against the tomb.
Okay. Up against the tomb of one of the
The son of
Culvartees.
Grundhelm. Yes.
Don't forget
Future
that
will-
5 hit points, please. Please don't forget that 5.
Oh, I had
Please.
them.
Swear.
Don't worry. I've added those hit points.
Don't forget
I-
them either, Van Warren. You're about dead, bro.
I added them.
Saoirse will come up and look worried.
I'd like to check out Genesis.
Okay. All right. So yeah, go ahead and make your initial assessment roll there.
11.
You're having trouble. As far as you can tell, she's strained herself. You don't think there's an aneurysm or anything. The burst of blood is worrying. It does appear to have just been a burst, nothing free-flowing or heavy. But you do worry.
Just popped a vessel. Happens.
Her eyes are bloodshot when you open them, but they are responsive to light.
I will keep an eye on Genesis
Okay.
and
So-
monitor the condition.
As you are making your assessment, the ground begins to quake worse than before, and bits of stone begin to crumble around the edges of the building that you're in, worryingly so.
Very much so.
We need to get out of here, and we still haven't found Kaz.
I'm gonna just be pushing back that sarcophagus lid right now.
Okay. You slide open the sarcophagus.
Yes.
Okay. You slide open the sarcophagus. Inside is an extremely well-preserved dwarven corpse. Extremely well-preserved.
Ooh.
That's worrying. Is it Kaz?
It's covered. You'd have to uncover him to know for sure.
That's easy enough to do, assuming he's not covered with lead. I wouldn't put that past a dwarf.
It's mainly linen wrappings, so.
Makes perfect sense. I'll kind of tease him back.
Okay. You tease it back. Uki, are you watching this?
Yes, I am. I'm watching this with kind of fascination, but at the same time, a little nervous being in this, watching the door with my pistol.
Okay. Uki, you, being what you are, have seen a great many pictures of Jonathan Culvarkti, the founder of the Culvarkt faction of the dwarves, from the split, when the split happened after the Grunholm massacre. This is the spitting image of Jonathan Culvarkti, based upon the history lesson. Did that get put out at all, or was that just in listeners' head?
That was just in listener's head. Although he would probably comment at this point.
Okay.
Although that it would be Evelyn, actually. So you hear Evelyn's voice coming from listener. It's probably a very strange sensation.
Yeah, a little unnerving. Yeah.
So I hear this and I'm astonished. I'm like, what? What? And I turn and look, and I see this body, and I'm just, oh, the story. She's essentially speechless, because keep in mind she's not that talkative to begin with.
Yeah.
It's just at a loss for words, because yeah, as you'd mentioned, I mean, that was definitely the Kovardi dwarves were the ones that, were quite, I mean, the Hybridians were doing so much as far as it's not just the idea of cells and barters. It's the exchange of skills and knowledge and everything, and part of it is not just about learning the trade. It's about understanding the history, and like having appreciation for the craftsmen, for the artisan, and all of that came, and how much their rich history was tied to it.
Yeah, and you're looking at a large piece of it that's been missing for some time. Well, probably 150 to 200 years that this person has been missing. Lovingly buried here in this sarcophagus, a very traditional style, old world traditional style dwarven burial, of a very well respected and high ranking individual. With the face exposed, listener,
Yes.
give me a perception roll with advantage.
Okay. There you go.
Look at that. Double
Firmly
18s.
18.
Listener, you being attentive because of your skill set,
Mhm.
notice very faintly along the left edge of the internal part of the sarcophagus, down by the base
Mhm.
of the internal structure, there's this little occasional puff of air that seems to be coming from a crease from beneath the floor of the sarcophagus.
Ah. Inside my own head, I say, Evelyn, would you mind? Let's lift our stout friend from his rest. I'm sure he won't cause us any trouble.
Okay. So
Up he
lift him up,
goes.
and he attacks. No, I'm just kidding.
No, this is kind of a fun moment for listener because his experience of the dead is that the spirit is the actual dead person and the body is just kind of this leftover bit.
A discarded branch.
So the reverence with which the old world might have buried their dead is completely lost on him.
Yeah.
He would just go, well, I mean, I don't see why you would bother with this. The guy is gone. He got the good ending, you know?
Yeah. Well, Evelyn, being a Tomb Raider,
Has even less concern.
she will offer some reverent respect.
Mm.
But,
Listener has only envy, where he says, you died early enough, you made it out.
yeah. So, unless anybody stops you,
Mm.
you'll lift the body out. No problem.
Yes.
What are you
I
doing with it?
will ping the group as I do so. As I'm just going to set him aside, basically. There should be enough space
Plenty.
to set him aside the sarcophagus and say, I believe there may be a chance here. And I reach down in to feel for mechanisms.
Okay. Give me an investigation roll.
Gotcha.
Do you get these at advantage too?
Yes, searching and perceiving secret doors and passages.
So you find two small finger-sized latches, one on either side. There is a mechanism here for sure, you can tell. A very complex one. You get the feeling that only one of these needs to be pulled, but that the other one may have a detrimental consequence.
I am going to try something funny. If I have no other obvious hint here, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to ask Uki, do you know if the dwarves have a hand that they consider clean? A lot of cultures have this. You know, you have a clean hand, you have a dirty hand, you have a dominant hand, you have an off hand. Especially in a circumstance like this, you would expect the good hand to have the doesn't kill you feature.
Interesting that you asked that, because actually, dwarves tend to be ambidextrous when it comes to manufacturing, because they believe that two hands can be much more productive and also master their skills. But in something such as this, I do believe it is. I would say let's see. I guess a question I would ask is there a sword or anything with this corpse that would show any indication? Say, see what ring, if there's any jewelry upon their hands, or what type of weapon they are carrying. Is it left or right?
So, to church, is there either with the corpse or perhaps engraved on the sarcophagus lid an
Well,
indication of handedness?
The sarcophagus lid is very much an artistic rendering, very stylized, or it's not realistic. Much in the same sense that like the Egyptian sarcophaguses weren't necessarily.
Yeah, they didn't look exactly like a person.
The corpse, however, are you uncovering it to look at his hands?
Sure.
Okay. You peel back more of the lining. The first thing that impresses you is he is wearing an unblemished, beautiful suit of what appears to be some type of strange silver alloy plate mail armor.
That is worth so much money. Listener doesn't know that, of course.
Does Uki recognize the artistry on the sarcophagus matching his lineage, matching as in that he was actually placed here by his own family and community?
I'll give you a history check if you want. Go ahead.
Okay, will do. Oh, let me get over to there. We go. Work for me. One moment. Okay, let's see. My history check. Oh, this probably won't go too well, but we'll see.
Okay. You have advantage. I'm sorry. Go ahead. One more time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about that. Let's see one more time. History. Come on. Come on.
Okay.
11.
Because of the age, the dust, and the stress of the situation with the building you're in rumbling and shaking and slowly falling apart, you're having a hard time focusing, understandably, on this. It's hard to say. You do definitely recognize it as this is the tomb of Joseph Kovarti II,
Okay.
son and heir of Jonathan. Sorry, not Joseph. Jonathan Kovarti. You're not sure if the Kovark family built it and put it there, though. You're not sure who did. You can't make out that information. But yeah, you can at least figure that out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused.
What about?
Why is there a dwarf tomb in an elf hideout? Or like an elf stronghold?
Used to be a dwarven one.
It was an elven one when they locked me in it.
This predates the cataclysm.
Yes.
By a good number of years. And granted, by elven and dwarven terms, not so much, but...
A generation. 2.
Okay.
The elves would have moved in here right before the cataclysm.
Oh, okay.
I'm just and so why the reason why Uki's a bit confused is, I mean, at this point we're not anywhere near the God's Teeth Mountains, right?
No, you're way out in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I mean, we're like west. We're west of that.
Well, that's right. So, Evelyn's. Are you saying this out loud by chance? These questions, like just kind of talking.
You mean Uki?
Yeah.
I am actually going. Uki's stating this out loud. She's saying I'm just a bit speechless because we know that he left to look for the domes of this. That this is Joseph Kovarti II, who left to look for the dome of the Shining Eyes, which are thought to have been someplace, basically out. I got my directions wrong. West of the God's Teeth Mountains. I mean, at this point, I thought we were further, like, on the other side of Cairne, like, to say I may be wrong if I know where we're at, but I thought we were close to, like, the Gold Spire range, west of that or something. Not that I know exactly where are we right now. relation to
Um,
the world map.
let me pull. I know you guys have the handout as the world map here, right?
Mm,
Believe we do, yes.
yeah, it's also in a pinned message, and I'm looking at it.
There it is. Yeah. So here
Yeah.
we'll open this up. So you guys are actually, if I remember correctly, yeah, you guys are up on these islands, um, kind of north of the wreckage of the Fettered Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Um,
Oh, okay. So we're within that. Okay. Okay, so we're north of that.
Not far.
Oh, okay. So it's not that far off of a premise
No,
that we would to have to find this type of tomb here. We're not necessarily that far from Kavarthi.
no. If anything, it looks like he just never made it out. He was headed to find, basically, to potentially establish another dome of the Shining Eyes. There was another resource rich vein that was discovered at the ocean floor, and he was sent out to claim it and set up shop. Never made it there.
Got it. Okay.
While Uki is undertaking this historical research, I will continue to examine the corpse, who is clad in lovely mithril. Big fan. But anything else? We are checking the hands here specifically.
Interesting.
Yes.
He is wearing one gauntlet on his left hand.
One gauntlet on the left, the right hand ungauntleted. Now, the fun part, does that imply that the right hand was dominant? I would assume so. You'd want your gauntlet off to be manipulating something. But equally, had he been manipulating something, well, I mean, he would have had to not been dead at the time. These are the questions. We're under kind of a time crunch. I'm going to go with right.
Okay. So, you're going to pull the right lever?
I think so. I warn everybody first.
Anybody else doing anything special?
Can I see if, now that Uki has asked those questions, if I know anything from like my time reading back at school?
About
Just like dwarven history or stuff like that.
yeah, I'll let you make a history check.
Wilhelm was a little bit of a book nerd. Didn't know much, but
You're not really getting much else. It's dwarven history. It's bland and boring. Not as exciting as your lovely Bachelorite Empire.
Yeah, if it's just straight dwarven history, then I would just go with the right-handed. As far as like, yeah, I mean,
All right. So you're going with the hand without the gauntlet.
That was the plan, yes.
All right.
yes.
You reach down and trigger it.
Yes.
All right. So reach down, reach in, pull the latch. You hear a click, followed by a ka-chunk.
Wonderful.
The bottom drops about 4 inches and slides upward under the floor, revealing a spiral set of stairs down.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Listener steps back and lifts Genesis up over his shoulder. I assume Genesis is still unconscious.
She is still unconscious for now.
To the party. We should leave.
As if to punctuate that,
I'll
The
take
tremors
point.
increase.
Yeah.
I'll take point. And are you okay carrying Genesis? That's not an inconvenience for you, is it?
Well, I don't move very quickly at the best of times. I doubt she'll slow me down.
Saoirse nods in earnest towards the listener, and she's going to start getting a move on herself.
So here, do me a favor. Right here, just line up your marching order, single file. There we go.
Which way is?
Yeah, which way is out?
Yeah, which way?
Here,
Left to right or right to left?
here. Let's do this. We're gonna start with Az here.
Mm.
Just go to the right. Az said he's taken point.
Okay.
Mm.
Genesis is going with listener, so
There you go. Listeners carrying 3 people or 2 people technically.
It's a regular party.
All right. Here, Ben Warren will go there. So we'll say this is our marching order.
Mm.
So you begin down the beautifully hewn stairs. There's barely even dust on them. The seal was so good on the door above. The only dust you're seeing is fallen just recently. The stone itself is stark white, traced with silver and gold, in very beautiful decorative patterns. The fit through the spiral is a little tight. It's dwarven sized, so you're all kind of having to hunch and lean over, making your way down so you don't drag your head across the top. It's a little slow going. The tremors are nerve-wracking. Luckily, the construction is holding. The trek itself seems to take forever, especially with the cramped quarters, the heat of the volcano making you just ungodly uncomfortable. You're sweating, your breathing is difficult. The deeper down you go, the hotter it gets. Listener, you're extremely dehydrated at this point.
I take a moment to dump a flask over my head as we walk.
Okay.
Gotta keep your strength up.
Yeah. The it goes down and down and down. Even none of you are underground dwellers, so distance and direction become abstract concepts very quickly down here. It's pitch black as well, so those of you who have no light source can't see. You're kind of going by feel. Eventually, it does open up into a small vaulted chamber, about 20 feet high, about 20 feet in diameter. Kind of weird egg-shaped in a way with a flat floor. There is a portcullis on one of the walls, and once again, the similar decorative veining in the white floor. You're not sure if it's marble or some other type of white stone, unless you have the ability to determine that type of information. But it is beautifully inlaid with silver and gold.
Very nice.
It's a marvelous oval room.
Okay, so just because I've got my advantage on secret doors and mechanisms, and from having some levels in Arcanist, I can see pretty well in the dark.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go ask one question. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry. So sorry.
No, you're
Sorry.
Good. You're good.
Oh, it's all right.
Are we?
You're unconscious anyway, so.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's a good time for the break, anyways. Yeah.
Do we want to do that? Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Oh, I think it'd be a good time for a break.
Sure. Yeah, we will take a quick break and be right back after this word from our imaginary sponsors. Please stay tuned.
Thank you.
No
Thanks.
worries. we're back. All right. So, picking back up, the egg-shaped domed room, portcullis on one side, beautiful white stone floor riddled with intricate patterns of gold and silver.
Yes.
The earth is still quaking. It's still hot as hell, literally. And I believe you were about to look for a secret passage again or something.
I believe I was. I was going to examine around for mechanisms related to the portcullis, hopefully.
Okay. Go right ahead.
All right, shall I make perception, investigation?
Investigation, since you're actively searching.
Gotcha. There you are.
26 is a very solid roll. So you do find something very intricate here.
Oh my.
Flush with the floor, almost imperceptible, there does appear to be a lever that can be pulled. It will activate some type of mechanism, you can tell, that has to do with the floor itself, but you're really not sure beyond that. It is very intricate.
I address the party, saying, "There is a lever here, but no way to know what it does. We have a moment's peace.
There's a way to know what it does.
Well, there is one. But is there anything we should do before we find out?"
I don't know if we have time.
Yeah,
Dorothy
it's fine by me.
Yanking it?
I'm gonna pull this lever.
All right.
Yep, I give everybody an opportunity to interrupt and say something, and if not, we're just gonna pull the lever.
Saoirse is not objecting.
So, assuming no
There's-
objections?
Am
There's
I?
nothing else of note in the room, right?
Nope.
Nothing uncovered. Hit it.
You yank the lever.
I'm gonna yank the lever.
So you hear this. The floor begins to spin in alternating directions as you begin to see that the intricate patterns of gold and silver on the floor are not just there by design. They are, in fact, tracing rings around the floor that begin to turn in alternating directions. You can count at least 6 or 7 of them. You guys are kind of moving around the room if you're standing on one. As they turn, they begin to sink and expand somehow. You're not really sure once again. As they do, however, the very center of the room begins to rise up in the shape of the room, basically a smaller kind of egg-shaped section rises up. The entire top of it appears to be translucent, some type of translucent stone. As it raises up inside, you can see actually what appear to be seats and levers and gears and pulleys within. The movement slowly begins to settle, regroup, and reform around the base of this item, and then open up, revealing a track that goes to the portcullis, which slowly opens. The top of the egg-shaped device opens with a slight hiss, and inside you see 6 seats. The front 2 have levers and a couple of dials and gears on what appeared to be some type of dashboard, as well as a number of pedals on the floor.
Uki knows what this is.
Ugh. Dwarven engineering. I don't trust it.
What is this, Uki?
This is a steamship.
Very possible.
I think that this is most likely a vehicle for transportation. It's
Listeners,
technology.
listeners already clambering up into one of the back seats, just kind of holding Genesis on his lap. He addresses the party and says, I do not feel as confident piloting this one, absent a knowledgeable spirit. Believe I shall be a passenger.
That's fair.
Saoirse's just climbing in.
All right.
We'll take the seat next to listener in Genesis.
Solid.
I'm gonna sit near the front.
All right.
I might have to help drive this.
You may be one of the only ones qualified.
All right. So we have 6 seats. Let's start kind of underneath as there are 2, 2, and 2. Where are we sitting?
Uki will actually sit in one of the front seats because she's familiar with the technology of this.
Okay. So Uki's in the front.
Yep. Because I mean, club as a Hybridian, we had, I've had training in some of the metal smithing that I was doing in stone work as well from the Covart dwarves.
All right. And
So this is not unfamiliar. And she's like going, air, mountains, no problem. I don't want to be underwater anymore. I don't want to be in a volcano anymore. Get me back to the air. It's cooler and away from the terrible spores.
all right. And I assume Genesis is basically
Yeah, Genesis needs a little extra help right now.
All right.
I'm just holding on to Genesis.
all right.
Oh. Yeah.
So you settle in. Wilhelm and Uki, you're basically at the helm. I will let one of you be pilot, one of you be co-pilot. The co-pilot will basically be offering assistance to roles. The pilot will be making basically engineering guesses on how this works. This is a very old contraption. It predates the cataclysm.
But is this something that would have been found like in Kent?
No. This is
Okay.
older. This would be like, basically imagine being used to driving modern day cars and suddenly driving a Model T.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get the idea, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in here that's unfamiliar. Like, what's a clutch do?
Yeah. But I think
Why is it outside?
I think in general, though, the basic concept of it is that, it's modern is more complex and such. There's still the basic mechanics and engineering to this that should not be, not going to be wholly unfamiliar in
No,
regards
no.
to the work that the Hybridians and the Covart have done together.
Do you want to take the helm, then, Nuki?
Am I the guest or am I the person who has more knowledge? I mean, has some working knowledge of it.
You have some.
I would
Wilhelm,
say
you and Wilhelm are about. You would both have some working knowledge of how this would work. Wilhelm, based on his education and the fact that Becklerite are very close with the Kolvarti.
Oh, that's right as well.
So it's up to you guys how you want to do it.
How you feeling, Wilhelm? How's your right now? I'm feeling I feel like I can pilot this for a bit if you need to get a little rest. I know that we've got some passengers in the back probably need a bit of a rest.
How familiar are you with this machine? I've seen and read like manuals, but I obviously have no real world experience. So how comfortable do you feel driving?
I will say that it seems a bit more rudimentary of some of the machines that I've ridden in and operated with during my training. As far as I feel fairly comfortable.
Well, then I will defer to you, and I will assist you.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take the first shift.
All right, let's do this then. Uki. This is a slightly different type of vehicle than you would be used to. But what I would like for you to do, and I will give you the choice of either a straight intelligence roll or a history roll.
I would say,
You have it at advantage, so keep that in mind.
yeah. I think I will go with. I'm gonna go with intelligence.
All right.
So
Let's see.
so just roll a d20.
Do you have a bonus?
Let me see. I have my intelligence 15 with a +2 modifier.
All right, so yeah, +2.
Let's see.
Solid.
Good start.
All right. So,
Hey,
Uki,
don't you have advantage? Roll it again, see if you get higher.
you're welcome to. That's a pretty solid roll.
No, definitely 19.
Definitely. 19.
Definitely 19.
All right. So Uki looks it over. She pulls a gear. The top comes down. There's a hiss. You feel it kind of pressurize inside. Your ears pop. She pulls on a lever, runs a crank, and slams a foot down on one of the foot pedals. Wilhelm grabs a hold of the wheel so that you're both kind of holding a directional, and this thing just goes, it just shoots down the tunnel through the portcullis. All of you are thrown back into your seats with the momentum.
Whoa.
You are traveling at a ridiculous rate of speed through tunnels. The tunnel winds and twists and curves and turns.
Throw my hands up. Whoa.
To make this even worse, everything is shaking because of the quake from the volcano.
Saoirse has her eyes closed and is gritting her teeth.
Somebody tell Walt about this. It's $1 billion idea.
Poor Walt. If only he had seen this in his day.
It's a beautiful thing.
Whoa.
I'm uncomfortable with it.
I'm still unconscious, right? Like, just.
You want to roll to try and wake up?
Under extreme G's.
I'll let you if you want. Give me a con save.
Actually, I don't want to wait. I don't want to. I don't. I actually don't want to wake up.
Oh, come
Okay.
on. It'll be fun.
No, I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh,
Julie,
Most things that I've heard scientifically, it's better to not be conscious when you're like in an incident, because like if you're awake and conscious, you react and you tense, which can lead to further injuries that you wouldn't have had if you had just simply been limp, you know.
All right, so you're just going to stay unconscious? Opt to?
I'm just gonna use the intellectual path and opt to flop.
All right. So, everything's shaking. You're moving at a tremendous rate of speed. Teeth grit, knuckles white. As the no more than 4 or 5 seconds pass, and you hear a loud doom, an explosion behind you. it kind of rattles everything. Uki, give me an advantage deck save, please.
Advantage deck save. Okay.
What?
24?
Seems good.
Uki grits her teeth, locks onto the wheel, and just hyper focuses, maintaining a smooth course despite the rocking explosion ratcheting you from behind. Maintaining the course. You can feel the tunnel around you beginning to collapse and feel a tremendous whoosh of heat from behind you as lava begins to surge into the tunnel behind you, chasing you.
Oh my god.
So, you're making through. We're gonna do some breakneck moves here. So, no pauses. Are we ready?
Yeah, but I think with 2 nat 20s like that, we should get something.
Oh, that was solid. That kept you from crashing. So, Uki, you're in control. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Fork in the road, left or right?
Right.
Okay, Uki takes a right. The tunnel to the left collapses. You can see it as you go. The heat is impressing upon you, getting more and more intense. It's getting hard to breathe, but you're maintaining. The speed is increasing. The shaking is getting worse. Another breach, up or down?
Up.
Up. Uki rackets through an upward motion. The tunnel continues. As you keep going, the shaking is increasing even more. I need you to make another dex save, please, Uki, at advantage.
Okay, let's see. Damn.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Oh
rough.
my god. Oh my god.
So, the pod kind of comes up off the rail it's on a little bit due to a shock wave coming from the volcano. It hits the side and begins to spin. You're still traveling at a tremendous rate of speed, but now you're doing 360s as you're going. Uki and Wilhelm, give me Constitution saves, please, to maintain your equilibrium.
Oh.
13 for Wilhelm.
Why not? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I wasn't seeing it.
It's all right.
Why am I not seeing it? I hit it. 13.
Hey.
13. You guys are barely holding on. The G's that you're pulling right now are just ridiculous. The spin is making you both nauseous. You're trying to hold on. Give me one more dex save, Uki, at advantage. You're both still conscious. Let's see if you can right this puppy.
Come on. You can do it. Come on.
18.
18.
That's pretty
Ooh.
good.
Oh.
So Uki slams on a brake pedal, ratchets back a lever, and just starts railing on that turn and manages to kind of slam left, slam right, and slowly get this thing righted. It has taken a little damage, and now the entire pod is just shaking and shaking on top of the tunnel quaking. Rock is falling. You guys are beginning to see splashes of magma just overtaking you slowly. But ahead, a light at the end of the tunnel. Uki, this is for the money. Are you ready?
Yes.
There is a breach in the tunnel ahead. I need you to maneuver it off the tracks so that you don't fall into the breach.
Oh my god.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you
This-
going to... How are you going to do this?
I'm going to take a little bit of speed off and engage to the left because we've had a bit more pitch to the right, and that's what got us into the spin before. So I'm pulling it. I'm coming back a little bit left to overcompensate a little bit. And as I get closer, I'm going to pull up and just take it that clutch, put it in the next gear, and just basically floor it.
Punch it. All right.
Punch it. I'm gonna punch it.
Very good. All right. One more deck save.
Go. Let's go. Let's go.
At advantage.
Let's go.
22.
22. Pulls
Let's
off
go.
the maneuver with precision, slowing down, retching it to the side, and then just punching it just in time to launch over the breach. The mechanism re-engages on the other side. It's scraping. Sparks are flying. The lava is right behind you as you burst through a vine-encrusted opening and shoot out across open air over the lagoon.
Freedom!
Over the lagoon.
Wow.
So yeah, you pitched in the air for a moment into the lagoon. We're gonna get one more deck save. You don't have a lot of control, but try to land it, Uki.
All right.
You got this. Come on. You got this. You got us this far. Let's go. You can do it.
19.
19. Uki manages to pull it off. She basically launches over to the side, nudges Wilhelm, pushes him into the wall, and manages to kind of get this thing wobbling and hits the water instead of the land. It skids across the water, skips twice, slowly kind of comes to a dragging halt, and then stops right at the edge of the lagoon, steaming.
Holy shit.
It was a short first flight, but it was a pretty good one.
I'm so glad I didn't see any of that. Just dead to the world. Let's go.
Genesis
And I'm going
begins
to turn to look
wake
at
up.
Wilhelm and go, well, that went a lot better than my last flight in an airship. My last time piloting an airship.
It went better than their last time in an airship, too.
Aww.
So you're just going to timidly open her eyes now.
It was exciting, but I still don't trust Dwarven engineering.
I plan on building one of these that flies eventually.
Let's do it again.
That is fair. So yeah, you are in the pod at the edge of the lagoon. The volcano is erupting. But for the moment, you're safe.
Is there water between the volcano and us, or are we on the volcano side of the water?
There is water between you and the volcano. Here,
Okay.
I'll get us our little island map.
Cool.
We haven't seen this in a while, have we?
We have been below for some time.
So, you guys are basically on this side. That did change for you guys, right? I did move. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are on this side now.
Okay.
Volcano.
Listener rises slowly. The listener taxi service disembarks. Got a tree elemental. I got a baby ent, unconscious Genesis, a collection of ghosts.
Genesis is starting to wake.
Yes. Still getting carried for the moment.
Wilhelm,
Yes.
give me an intelligence check. Smarty pants.
Smarty pants knowing about volcanic ash being very dangerous.
But also great for growing.
True.
I'll be fine. Or dead.
Yes, but my hydroponics, this might be the key.
20. Nice. So, as you're getting your breath, slowing your heart, getting out of this pod and looking around, you can't help but think of the damage to the Orti, the main damage, the broken window, and then look at the top of the pod.
So, got some
What
parts.
We could possibly use them.
Could possibly.
Wonder if we could convert this to continue moving.
Well, I have my tinkerer's tools with me. I can see if there's a few minor repairs while I've not worked on anything this ancient. It seems very basic in concept.
Well, keep in mind the device itself worked on a track. It has no mobility of it. So.
It was a track only. Okay, got
And
it.
careful what you call ancient.
Well, ancient compared to
humans.
yes, that's the thing. She is.
So if you want to strip it for parts, that's possible.
I'm just gonna stand out here in the soil and try and put down some roots for a minute. Begin regenerating hit points.
That's fair.
So based on Wilhelm's observations, and as well as what had we identified we needed to take care of on the Orti? Had we?
We had to, but we have a gaping hole in the window we gotta seal.
Oh yeah.
And we gotta pump all the water out.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta check the boiler.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All the while it's in caustic water that's going to melt anyone pretty much touches it. But I have a way around that, but only for limited periods of time at a point. Also, I kind of need supplies to probably build those as well.
Well, I know Uki could definitely take care of the boiler, but she's pretty leery about doing anything that's going to be within the water itself after the.
Uki got it firsthand.
Yeah, got it. The hole in thing.
Well, let's start with the stripping for parts, if that's your goal. If you do want to strip this thing for parts.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Well,
I would say that's what Wilhelm's suggestion is.
Okay.
We can do that. I've got the tools for it. So.
All right. So, it's going to be a lot of work to carry too much. It's just weight alone more than anything. Let's see. Trying to think. Can you roll the Tinker's tools, kind of like thieves' tools, or no? That doesn't work.
I'm not sure. Let me see about because it's in my. It sits in my inventory.
You can have proficiency with them and add your proficiency bonus to checks with them, I think.
Yeah.
Did it do anything? I just clicked it.
Half of what's broken about Rat.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. I tell you what. Let's do a.
I'll have use as a. Oh wait. Oh, I can say use as a resource.
Well,
Is that
let's do a survival. You could have advantage too because Wilhelm's assisting, or vice versa.
Well,
Yeah, I have that Tinker's tool on me, and I think I've only used it on the OT for working on the cannons and the guns. So
Yeah, that works.
my guns. Ooh, 11.
All right. And keep in mind, we do have a re-roll. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and use reroll late
Alright.
enough in the session, if that's okay.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, we're coming up towards the
And
end.
we're safe. Hey, 19.
19. All right.
And we just survived from.
So yeah, you managed to get a nice pile, including enough of the dome to repair the window, and then some. Now, I will grant you the trek back to the campsite on the beach. We can move time forward a little bit, basically.
Very kind of you.
Are we going to assume, though? So you said we'll get the for the window. What about some of the steam components from this to use for the boiler?
Yeah, you managed to fill that up, the dome up with whatever parts you could scavenge.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so that's no problem. I'll give you the trek back to the campsite, no problem. Any elves remaining are scattered. Oh, poor Saoirse.
The stress and of everything that just happened is hitting her, and the realization that Evelyn's gone and they weren't able to get Kaz.
Yeah,
She's crying right there on the edge of the lagoon shore.
that's understandable.
Uki's just kind of moving on adrenaline right now. It hasn't struck. I mean, she kind of kicked in that survival, save the party, get ourselves out of here thing, and it hasn't. The realization that, oh crap, we don't have Kaz hasn't hit, but it's still going to have
Yeah,
a major impact because
soldier
Yeah, the
mode.
volcano's still going to explode. We don't have time to mourn your friends yet.
Yeah, well, so yeah, you can get them, the parts.
Yeah.
Saoirse's reaction is, she's a Shauna Keegan. That is actually completely in character. She's probably feeling that harder than most people will. Significantly.
Just like with the understanding, like this happened pretty much as soon as she got in the pod. So like Uki was doing all that with the window and stuff while Saoirse was sitting there crying.
Yeah.
Grieving.
Yeah, and for Uki, it is the fact that we had a mission, and in her priority was getting her comrade Jazz out. So it's not. It is I haven't seen a body yet, so she's not 100% convinced that he's actually gone for good. But right now, it's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of one.
Very fair.
And right now, we need to get the party back and heal up. Well,
So we'll get you to the campsite. No problem.
Has it been daylight out?
As much as it is.
As much as it ever is, yeah. I think we ruled that either I was regenerating or regenerating at half speed in the local sunlight.
It was half, if I remember correctly.
Half. All right, so it took us a while to get back here, and thanks to the one busted ability of the Ogham, I am back at full.
There you go.
I would like to see if I can get a sample of the ash quickly
I'll
before we
allow
leave.
it. That's fine. That's no problem. That's easy enough to do. There's plenty of it.
Also, I think right there on like the lagoon shore, I think we left the 4 Fennecs and Archibald. So
Yeah, you'll notice they're with you. On the
Tis
map
wonderful.
there.
Wonderful to have them back. I re-up the antifungal aura.
All right. So we are back at the original campsite.
Yes.
So from here, like I said, any elves that remain on the island are dying in the volcano or scrambling to get away from it. They're not worried about you right now. So you have a reprieve to try and do what you need to do with the Orti. It sounds like Wilhelm has a plan.
It does. just a little more complicated.
Mhm. All right. Well, like I said, you have a little time here.
I want to, as we're moving back, especially by the lagoon, I am trying to see what I can salvage, plant-wise, supplies.
You'll have time to make one run through. Time is of the essence. That volcano is going up, and the elves are only going to ignore you for so long.
Like I said, as we're moving, I'm trying to grab anything
Yeah,
that I can make some. Yeah.
I'll give you one search basically.
Okay. 24.
Solid. Very solid. Okay. I think we determined what that would get you already, didn't we? If I remember correctly. It's been a while.
I think that was something you and I had discussed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever actually came to an agreement, because at one point I think it was just getting one, which seemed really under.
Yeah. Well, that's
It was
because
like
you're
area
normally
dependent.
you're out in Cairne, where scavenging for plants is very difficult because there are none.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna give you a D6. Look at that,
All right.
6. Enough to make 6 items,
Perfect.
or save clippings if you can grow them in your hydroponics lab.
Okay, so that's 6. So that means I can create up to 6 doses of the waterproof. Waterproof.
That's what you were thinking. Okay, interesting.
Oh.
Smart.
And, well, I can also create water breathing. Problem is, it is 2 separate things. So I can protect someone, 3 people basically, let them breathe water and be protected from the effect.
Is that going to be enough to help you pump out the RT?
Let's find out. I take a moment to consult with the engineer spirit.
He is on the ship.
No, I had him for a little while. I'd loaded him into the mind.
Did you lose him when you gained Evelyn, though?
You never specified.
I would say yeah. Otherwise, that gets stacking and becomes
Yes, it becomes
ridiculously
very
powerful.
silly. All right, so he probably went back to the ship then.
Yeah,
Probably
'cause-
reverted to his anchor point.
It wouldn't bother him to be there.
Yeah. It's not that far. I could probably shout from the shore.
Hey,
Mental shout.
hey.
I'll try and open up a link to him. My range is awkward with spirits.
I'm gonna say in this particular case, probably wouldn't be able to reach him.
Yeah, he's out there a ways.
We'll call it line of sight.
Yeah, we have ruled that before, I think.
That's okay though, because you do have some very educated people in the group.
Yes.
Wilhelm went to college.
I did. Like, the only
last
college.
on earth.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Somebody who's seeing the sunlight for the first time in like 200 years. The fuck did you guys do to our planet?
That actually
I
might have
didn't
been
do
my
anything.
people. I apologize for them. I am sorry. It was not me personally, but
This place used to be a paradise.
there was. It
Now
got
it's
bad.
like volcanoes and fucking acid water or oceans and shit, and like, what the fuck?
This area is actually still fairly nice.
This is the good.
It got bad.
It's only a little over half desert. That's not bad.
It used to be none desert.
Well,
That would have been nice.
I think when we have time to sit down, I'll be happy to explain some of the major changes. I think we need to. You're not going to enjoy them, so let's focus on them when we have time to properly handle the situation.
Oh, you're not going to tell me that familiars can vote now.
Don't believe we have any left, actually.
Magic got weird, at least from my understanding. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know anyone who was alive before, other than both you now. So I'm not really sure what it was. All I have to go on is book.
Let's see what the books got wrong.
Like, did nature used to actually give abilities? That sounds weird.
Living proof of nature giving people abilities. And I point to my golden tattoos.
Also, just an out-of-character point of note, we know that Van Warren was actually alive before, but he was like a little kid.
Well, I mean,
See, I don't know if we actually trust what Van Warren says, though.
Oh,
Hey.
fair enough.
hey, Van Warren remembers better than anyone.
Absolutely.
I'd like to think we
feels like it.
like to think we spent enough time around with Van Warren where we're like, did you though? Did you?
Did you really?
I mean, obviously.
Exactly.
Of course.
But yes.
So what's
There
your
have been some major changes.
what's your plan? Just before we go too deep here. To pump.
So who here? I think we need to send a small group. Minimize the number of people we actually send. I unfortunately I think I need to go, just in case I need to give the doses out again.
Fair.
In addition, I've got some knowledge of how to do things. Having someone who's a little more knowledge about this might not be a bad thing. I think either Uki or Listener. Uki's got some real world knowledge.
Or both. You have
wanna
enough for
bring
3
all-
people, right? Wilhelm, Uki, and Listener.
If we use all 3 and something goes wrong, I won't be able to redo anything. On the other hand, if we send only 2, we can at least try and buy us more time if needs.
I don't breathe in the same manner. I do still have like an osmosis process. But I don't know if your second concoction for breathing the water will actually affect me at all.
Which saves you a concoction.
Yes, but also doesn't make me that much more able to survive underwater. I think we did this like way back at the beginning of Cairne. I think in like the first couple of episodes, Listener waded through a pond to get into the shrine, basically the shrine to the antecedent mother.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We
right.
gave him like some absurd multiple of his con mod of time holding his breath, but he can't survive indefinitely underwater.
Yeah, but he has a good long time.
Yeah.
So you want to
You
do it?
can always come up from air, you know.
Yeah. You want to do it? Take the dinghy out and
Well, what if we, because it's not that far from the shore, if we sent one person or 2 people and they got the suit and brought the suits back, would they reach to the shore? And could we have people in suits go back and work on it in the suit?
I think the suits are largely reliant upon the ship's boiler being able to maintain its pressure pump.
Yeah, it does push oxygen from the ship.
Okay, so I wasn't sure where they were feeding the oxygen from. All right, so are
Don't be nervous. It's fine.
are the three of us going? Is it just two of us? What is everyone's thought?
3 is probably safer. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm starting to wear down.
You're good.
3 is probably safer. We can get there and I can consult with the engineer, who hopefully is aboard ship. Perhaps there's a pumping mechanism.
Okay.
I think it may be a quite lengthy and laborious process in the end.
Well then, let us begin. Let us head back to the Ortiz.
All right.
Wait, do we want to have a rest before that here at the camp? Or do we...
I don't think this island is going to be around for very long.
Yeah, you probably don't want to push it too long.
Okay.
I think we have to be on the Orty as soon as we can, because the island probably won't be around long enough for us to even have a short rest. We gotta pump this thing out quick, probably.
So, who's going? Let's see. Final word.
Wilhelm? Listener?
Wilhelm, listener.
Bringing Uki? Uki, you coming?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, us three.
So, you're using the waterproofing.
The waterproofing and yes.
All right.
But wait, 1 second before we go. Is there anyone actually able that can has a little bit of healing that they can do on me?
I think you guys are spent.
Okay, I thought they were too.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically the end of the day. So here, have a temp HP,
Okay.
and that's my last superiority for the day.
There you
I
go.
leave Root with Saoirse.
All right.
Saoirse's moping in the tent, but she'll take root and she'll start weeping again. Silently.
Evelette's gonna opt to stay, unless you're trying to keep her.
No, that's probably fine.
Okay.
She has been a great help.
But
We
she
have
doesn't-
done well.
She still doesn't like the water.
Can't blame her.
So, the waterproofing is being applied directly to the skin. Is that right?
Yes, the waterproofing is directly on the skin. That way it is covered. And it's not like the clothes, I'm going to pretend that the clothes work. So yes, directly on the skin.
Okay, so you guys get stripped down, coated up. Who's doing the coating, or are you each individually doing your own?
I think Wilhelm's probably the most qualified.
I'm doing it.
All right.
Unless
Uki, are you
Uki-
okay with that?
Yes, just make sure you don't miss.
Don't miss anything. All right, Wilhelm, give me 3 survival rolls, please.
All right.
Please make sure you get between my toes, underneath armpits,
Yes.
behind my knee.
Just a normal, or does anatomy, like knowing the parts of the body that are easily mixed,
Oh no, just
work for advantage?
just normal, just normal.
Does us directing him count as helping?
Yeah.
21, 28, 17.
All right.
So,
Pretty solid.
yeah,
Perfect.
I'll say the last one is mine.
No, make it me.
It's all
I
good.
insist.
All good. Well, these are the rolls are fine. They're fine. You didn't
Yes.
flub any. So you do that. You get your water breathing, and then you go in to the water. It's terrifying. It's dark. It's cold, but it does not bite. You make your way to the submerged Orti. Open the hatch. Of course, it's flooded. How are we pumping it?
I'm going to consult with the engineer if I can locate him at his desk, one floor down.
All right. That's no problem. Luckily, you don't need to actually speak.
Yes, helps.
There is a pump on the ship,
Mhm.
but it requires the furnace to work.
That's a bit of a trick. I ask him if there is a manual backup. Many crafts have manual backups of things.
Mm,
I'm imagining like one of the old seesaw pumps.
no, not really. It wasn't really built for that.
Dwarves are very confident of their engineering, and they don't really know about fail-safes.
No, it works or it doesn't.
Are there any air pockets within the Orti right now? Is it completely submerged, but there's air pockets within it anywhere?
Well, you know what? Let's do this.
Because we have.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of tokens on here that shouldn't be, but let's see here. We've got, oh wow. So yeah, just ignore the extra tokens. Let me get rid of this one and this one.
Because the furnace is on the lowest level and the moon is there, and
So
it's open. And then where is it? Which level is it where there's the gaping hole?
well, the hole, if I remember correctly, was actually at the very bottom from the explosion.
Yeah, there was
Thought it
damage
was right
around the
here.
pool.
Yeah, this window is the one that's broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we even have marks on it.
On the middle level. Okay.
There are air pockets in the cockpit and the
Various viewing domes.
the viewing domes in the top. I was gonna say with the dorsal side.
Sounds right. Though if you went with submarine terminology, I think that would just be the upper deck.
Yeah.
Deck side portholes.
There you go. All together. So, what's the plan?
Well, it's going to be real hard to drain a ship that just has a huge hole in it, regardless, you know?
Need a way to
Can-
force it.
Yeah.
Can we
but
get
all
it to
of our
move?
sealing. Well, no way. We have something here, right? So the window is not immediately a huge issue because there are bulkheads that we sealed.
Mhm.
So these bulkheads here and here are actually closed, so water cannot move from these rooms into the rest of the ship.
Correct.
Okay.
Can we get any motion from the ship at all?
It has to have the furnace to move.
Yeah, so nothing is powering this. So our main issue is going to be the hull is badly ruptured on the bottom floor from an explosive device that was planted there.
But it is
Sounds
still
like
on
the-
the bottom.
Yeah.
The first thing we need to do is get the furnace up and running. Because if we can get the furnace, then we can potentially move it up onto the beach, and then we don't have to worry about the water.
Yes, but to light the furnace, we will have to already have drained the whole ship.
So, the
But-
the engineer is going to remind you
Yes.
that there are large amounts of stored oxygen still aboard.
Oh, I thought we lost those.
No, not all of it.
Okay, good. We can work with that. Can work with that. Let's see. So what I'm kind of picking up here is that the upper structure of the Orti is probably still airtight.
For the most part, yeah.
We do have an energy source, but all but a very how do I say it? An energy source that is volatile, and that is we have um, powder and wadding and everything from that are on the second floor with the cannons. The question is, for that pump, what do you need? Does it actually have to be the furnace that operates the pump? Is it connected to it, or does it just need an energy source? Some, endothermic apparatus or whatever.
Usually, if you're driving something off of steam, you have a steam engine. So you've got the furnace is heating a boiler, the boiler is generating steam out of water it's drawing from outside. That steam is spooling.
But so is the boiler on the bottom floor?
On the bottom floor, yeah.
Ah, that's okay.
We have two, actually. We have the one in the backup. It's those two right there.
Let's see, where?
These two large tanks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I assume somewhere here in this whole confection is the impeller that the steam is driving to generate power for the ship.
Correct.
Being distributed by gears, maybe steam is being run different places to miniature impellers. Steam design is weird and tricky, and I'm sure the dwarves are very good at it.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it would seem that because we have on the water, we're waterproof, that we could take care of physical repairs for the bottom on the bottom. But then how to start removing some water out the bottom floor would be, because you're saying it is underwater, so.
It seems like, if the engineer's statement is correct, we have some compressed air to work with. We should just close up the hatch up top. All the damage is on the very bottom of the hull. If we just free the air in the top, it'll generate a pretty high, ambient pressure, but we should be able to force the water level down.
Got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you increase the pressure by putting more air in the top, the water will be forced back out the bottom ever so slightly.
And it'll increase its buoyancy.
You remove the water by turning the Orti into a balloon.
Yes.
And lifting it out of the water.
Oh, it's not going to lift, sadly. We had this thing fully pressurized before, and it was still heavy as all hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you can at least balloon the water out.
Yes, that'll be a good start.
And then seal it off.
Quick question. Doesn't it, though, have on the underside, does it have, legs or something? Did it have...
Tentacles.
Oh, but they're tentacles. They're not, actual physical thing that would help to lift it up.
No, not to stand up. It actually drags itself along the ocean bed.
Scuttles.
Yeah.
Scuttles nicely. So does the pneumatic system, or I guess in this case the atmospheric control system, do the pipes for it run up to the second floor?
They run all through.
Yeah. So let's just seal ourselves in. What fun. Close this hatch up here. And let's experimentally open a valve up top.
Okay.
See if we can get some air rolling.
Roll me a percentile.
Ooh, I love those.
I'm going to hand Uki and myself some piece of leather or something and be like, you're gonna want to chew on this.
I'm just gonna have to acclimate. You know, I don't have to worry about inner ears. I don't have regular ears.
Fair.
He's just like,
66.
All right. It's beginning to work.
Wonderful. Listener addresses Uki and Wilhelm and says, we should search for any air bubbles escaping in places we may not want them to. Though really, any bubble should rise and join us up here.
I will go look. I will start inspecting.
Okay. Now, I will say that while you will find some, obviously, it is a submersible vehicle, though, and is pretty well packed in.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Nothing problematic.
Good, good.
It's the lower level we have to be most concerned about.
You want to try for a second one?
Yeah, yeah. If we're making progress, we may as well keep going, you know?
All right. Another percentile.
All right. 33.
The RT begins to lift.
Oh! Is that good?
Yep.
That's probably good.
That's good. You have one more. If you want to
Consider
try it.
bracing yourself. 89.
89. You get full lift from the ground. The water begins to be forced out, air filling the chambers. The upper levels are actually clear. The second level is mostly clear. But the drift of the tide is actually pushing you ashore.
We can work with that. We can work with that.
So, it will get you ashore, no problem. It'll beach. There'll be enough free space inside for people to get in and out and work. But the back end is what washed up first.
Fantastic.
Which is a good thing. Not only is the main entrance kind of going up the back and across into the cockpit, that's also where the furnace is. So, in the spirit of saving time, so we don't drag out repairs in too much detail.
Mm-hmm. We could be at this a while. I went and read a book.
Oh well, I don't want to ruin it for you or anything.
No, it's better not to. It was a very complicated book.
Yeah, steam power is very nutty. Let's just do a series of 3 advantaged intelligence rolls by anyone you want.
I know a man. He wears a nice tall hat.
I do like my hat.
I guess it's up to you, Wilhelm.
Alrighty. Intelligence? Just
3 of them advantaged.
alright.
20.
20 25. and 23.
Very solid. You complete the repairs in record time. The parts you scavenged from the pod were enough to repair not only the window, but a lot of the mechanical parts that were damaged as well. Given the time, you're able to replenish your air supplies, fresh water into the boilers, and dry out the furnace. The RT is ready for launch.
During the time he's making the repairs, Uki will be refurbishing furnace, making sure everything's ready to go from her all the experience that she had with Kaz of heating that furnace on the previous journey.
Okay.
And I'll start working on the cannons as well.
Good
Cleaning
deal.
them up.
Good deal.
Might
yeah,
need those.
you guys will be able to refurbish. Very little is lost. The only thing you're lacking by the time you're done are medical supplies, food, and potable water.
Oh, I can manage that. Very slowly.
But you have it.
I have to ask though, the most important thing: how is Chica the fish?
How is what?
My fish. How is my fish?
He had one of the brain
That's
fish in a tank when the ship got flooded.
Oh, gosh.
It would have. The water wouldn't have been any issue.
No, but being trapped in a tank without food could be.
It's only been.
Waste.
Don't think the top was sealed, honestly.
No.
You wouldn't normally like seal the top of a fish tank. You just have a little
Yeah.
mesh over it. If you submerge a fish tank entirely, I think it would probably just float up.
A psychic fish at that. Give me a percentile roll. Let's see.
All right. Come on. 87.
Still there?
Yeah.
Still there? But yeah.
Do you know what that means?
We still have access to an incredibly powerful psychic paralytic powder.
Yes, we do.
That's
It might
funny.
be helpful.
So let's do that. And there's back of the Orti. I'm going to paste those there. You have to resize them apparently.
Oh, yep, everybody's a little funky.
Saoirse's mini is still on here, and the one you just pasted on there is her old tokens, so.
Is it?
Yes. The red and yellow one is the updated.
This one's the updated.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh shit. Genesis is always sideways or upside down.
Also, Genesis is still on here too.
Lives life at just a little bit of an angle.
Yeah. No, I just copy pasted the entire group. So
Yes.
there. We'll get rid of these. There. And
We should probably try to lay in some food before we leave for all of you eating type organisms. But
Yeah.
that might take a little while to play out.
true. And we can do some off-screen resupplying too.
We going fishing? I mean,
In this water?
That's some dangerous fish in there.
So the main thing, the Orti is back in working order.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are once again safe aboard. She's ready for travel, lacking only really just food and medical supplies. The volcano is pouring lava all over the island by this point.
Seems bad.
Yes. But we're on our way again.
Where to?
Yeah, we'll have
Good question.
to get food and whatnot along the way. Going back to the island, I think, is not a wise choice.
Yeah, not ideal.
But I think we can actually probably wrap it here.
This expedition has cost us much.
Is there somewhere on this boat I can take a nap?
There is.
I have a
Plenty.
small question.
Yes.
Does my time unconscious count as a short rest?
I'm afraid it wasn't quite long enough.
Oh.
Or restful.
Rim.
But yes, we're back on track. Next stop,
The Dome of the Shining Eyes, hopefully.
there we go.
Oh, we
Can
might
we-
make a pit stop or two.
We're like on the ship moving, or are we just like?
That's ready to go. You can stay and be overtaken by lava if you'd like.
Not a fan.
You guys figure out how to get the thing going again. Can somebody show me where I can take a nap?
I'm trying to get some sleep too because I'm completely useless.
That's
We have a
perfectly all
variety of bunks.
Oh my god. I'm out of points completely. If I use this last one, I'll probably die.
Here,
Well,
Yeah.
these are the bunks down here.
You got hammocks.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, I can see that. I just didn't. Az hasn't been to this boat yet, and it's a little weird for me to just like walk
Stroll
away and
around.
start sleeping in somebody else's bed.
oh, you're good.
Archibald!
this is the med lab. The
Yes.
door is
Let's
always
go.
open. There are quite a few beds in here as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have your lab again.
Nice.
But yeah, we are back on track. So obviously not next Saturday. Next Saturday we're back to Sigil. Saturday after that, we will set up for Night of the Round Table.
Woo!
Yes.
Let our hair down and discuss the last 17 episodes.
We've been here for 17 episodes.
17
Yeah.
episodes.
How did we do that?
It was a long trek. You guys went through a lot. If you really think back, there was a lot that happened here.
This was stressful. This was a stressful island.
Yeah.
This has only been like probably 3-4 days though.
More than that, because we've spent several days traveling from like ruin to ruin, so probably more like a couple weeks.
Yeah. And it's
I didn't feel like we slept that much.
You met Asdrashar today.
Yeah.
But he came through in a pinch. We'll see how he holds up underwater.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting claustrophobic already. I'm used to having, the sky above me.
Az is going to be in for a rude awakening as he discovers what's become of his world too, and his people.
Yeah.
It's rough here.
It's going to be some bad news. But that'll be an interesting role play, I think. I hope the tunnel escape was exciting.
It was, yeah.
Uki got us out of there.
Yeah, Uki was a hero.
Hey, I gotta be a hero and actually be here and not have it be church play.
Oh no, that's that cool, collected calm under pressure, and some good rolls.
Yeah, that was just a kind of kicking, just sort of survival mode of no more no more underwater and lava, and now we're gonna be back in the sea again.
But you picked you did
Out
pick
of fire.
you did pick the right choices on those quick choices.
Did I really?
Yeah. Yeah, if you'd have gone the other ways,
Confidently.
things would have potentially gone very much worse.
Awesome. I do think, well, and that's something that we can definitely talk about during the Night of the Round Table about. I realize decisions that I may have made tonight were based on forgetting that I've been playing I was actually thinking of my Tuesday night D&D character, but I think it comes up with the idea of subclasses or these other aspects when it comes to Hybristidians, because it is that it has a lot to do with the interaction between Hybristidians and Vertians. So this is great because this is the first time that I've been able to play upon that. But we'll talk about it
Yeah,
next in 2 weeks.
We will all bring our notepads, and this particular night of the round table, we will be implementing some changes based upon your feedback.
Yeah, I need to get down my thoughts on the musician, and I also have fresh ideas for the Volrestad race. Like, I sent you that, you know, big write-up of, like, things I did, like, several months ago, and I want to discuss my ideas for the clans.
Yeah, not a problem. We will go over all of it, and like I said, we're going to start pushing it out into the core material, basically. Which will be nice. Long time coming. So definitely stay tuned for that. The night of the round table is always fun. It's a lot more laid back, hair down, lot of laughs.
Yes.
Informative for those of you who are curious how interested in world building and that type of thing too. And of course next week back to Sigil. Continuation of what happened last night.
Such excitement we will have.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes, it's been an exciting weekend. To my American friends, happy Independence Day. To my non-American friends,
Unless you're a woman. That's all I have to say.
Rip. Rip us.
True.
In Texas, we're all crazy. There you go.
Do attempt to enjoy drinks and fireworks regardless.
I
Well,
will actually.
Gotta use what you got.
You know what we're doing?
Responsibly.
I'm playing.
Responsibly.
I am going
because
to go and play D&D on
Oh, good.
Hey.
at a bar.
That's even
Nice.
better.
Well, Snacks and I are also going to be in a one-shot together
Oh,
very soon with the Mystery
On-
Mavens.
exciting.
Oh, on
On
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote meets H.P. Lovecraft.
You just pack in the week with D&D.
So yeah, definitely tune into our buddies over at Featherfall for that. I think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. It's called Dad Over, and it's the Brindlewood Bay mystery. So
Oh yeah, it should be interesting. But definitely, I'll see you guys then. It's been a great 17 episodes.
Can't wait to see what the future has in store
Indeed.
here in Cairne.
We'll see you very soon.
thanks for watching.
Night all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Night.
night.